Dave, a point apiece, is that a fair result, do you feel?
It's always tough so quickly after a game. If I'm looking at big decisions in the game, then I think we potentially deserve to win, but we didn't. So whether it's deserved, again, I'm not sure, but we have to take it. We don't have much choice.
We'll go straight into it. You denied a win by the penalty at one end and have what looks like a very similar challenge on Teo Adaramola at the other end. What was your view of both decisions?
Listen, referees will make decisions, and I'm not going to say that the referees cost us the game, but he's made two decisions. I can give my opinion. I can give my opinion that says if he gives one, then he should give the other. But I'm stood, and the argument could be I'm stood 70 yards away. I'd be more concerned that the linesman who stood 10 yards away doesn't think it's a penalty and the referee gives it. And then at the other end, when you haven't got a linesman at that end, the referee's closest again and doesn't give it. So, again, they're both very, very similar in terms of what they look like. There can be an argument that Wood's got the ball. I don't think there's any argument that anyone got the ball up there. So, listen, are we on the end of a debate one today? Yeah, we probably are. But that's not going to change the outcome. We unfortunately have to deal with, and people will say it will equal out or even itself out over the course of the season. We have to hope that that's the case.
Up until that point, County looked relatively comfortable in terms of how they were dealing with what Crawley were throwing at them. Had a couple of good chances at the other end. What did you make of the performance overall? I
always knew we'd have opportunities on the counter. They were less aggressive than we thought they would be in terms of their press and what they left on the top line. But then we need to be better with the ball. We set up with a thought process of being aggressive and being man for man and thinking they would be man for man. As it turned out, they had a spare man on the top line. They man-marked Louis, which meant we had a spare player in our half of the pitch. We didn't look after the ball well enough to give us that control. And I said to the players at half time, that'll be if anything's going to be all undoing, that'll be all undoing. And that proved to be the case. We gave the ball away too easy in simple situations and didn't have control, and that ultimately over the course in 90 minutes at some point is going to cost you. Did we know that we'd have transitional moments? Yeah, and we've had chances at the other end, whether it be Tanto's going through, especially when the game gets stretched. But the game probably looked as we thought it may look. I just think we like I say, from our perspective as a team that needs to improve, we didn't do enough in possession based on what the game looked like to have control, so that we weren't looking to press all of the time.
Bit of a tweak with how you set up today, with Ibby going over to the right hand side and Teo coming in on the left. What was the thinking there?
So we could play man for man. So again, you know, similar to ourselves, that they'll end up with 5 on the top line. If they end up with 5 on the top line, then and we want to be aggressive with their 10s, Darcy and Kamara, as it worked out, roll it in and allow Tyler to go in, allow Ethan to go in, then you're going to end up with players 3v3 at the back end of the pitch. And if that had been Jack Diamond or a Jaden Fevrier, who is essentially playing as a right back for us, we felt it wouldn't have worked, especially early in the game. The hope was to try and be aggressive and get ourselves in a leading position and allow us to affect the game after the hour with the pace coming on when the game got stretched. We weren't allowed to do that because of, again, in some ways our own undoing, because we didn't keep the ball well enough and they made a poor decision on the edge of the box, which means you have to defend a set piece. And then whether it's a bad challenge, or it's not a bad challenge, but whether it's a challenge that is worthy of giving a penalty again is up for debate. People can make their own minds up. I'm gonna always look over the course of the game at what things go on and look for consistency, and I don't think we've got consistency.
Just a word on Teo, heavily involved on that left hand side on his debut. How do you feel he did overall? Yeah,
Teo athletically he's fantastic. He'll do brilliant for us, but he needs to be better, needs to improve. He's young. He needs to have more control at times. 1v1 he's a joke athletically. He's a joke. He needs to be better aerially, but he'll be a real outlet for us, and a real threat up and down the side. And he got 65 minutes, got cramp. We've got to get him obviously up to speed as quickly as we can. But from the Blackburn game, really, him going out has been there's been really real positive signs. Delighted that he's here with us. We need to make sure he improves, but like I say, he'll fit in with us really well.
And in terms of getting players up to speed, you now have this game against Everton on Tuesday night, which I suppose comes at the great time to give opportunities to players coming back from injury.
Yeah, we'll look pretty strong in that game, providing the couple that we've not brought with us today, based on allowing them to do a proper session yesterday and a proper session today, come through that. The hope will be that many of them start on Tuesday and we get some minutes into them and get them closer to a return. I think we've got to make sure we've got everybody fighting fit and able to make an impact. I'll say it as it is. I've not told the players any different. I thought I wanted a big impact from the subs. I thought Tanto was a nuisance, was a pest. I want a little bit more from Fevs. He's been really effective when he's come off the bench. I thought he was a little bit quiet today, and similarly with Jack. When people are, I suppose, and defenders are getting tired, that's when they should be in their elements, and maybe that's the lesson down to us. They're not getting the right amount of football and feeling a little bit edgy, but they could be huge impacts for us, and we've got to make sure they are.
Appreciate your time today, Dave. Thanks.
Welcome. Cheers. Thank you.